I am joined by John Mates, who's the CEO of Hedgehog. So John, welcome and thank you so much for joining me this morning. I understand that you've navigated the politics as well as policies of social media in the U.S., especially as the former CEO of Parler. So do you think the two bills that I just mentioned can effectively protect children without stifling free speech?
The honest answer on that is no, but let's break down why. So the Kids Online Safety Act, a lot of what this does is it puts a lot of liability on social media companies for creating harm. Now the problem is it doesn't really define harm per se, so that's up to interpretation by the courts, I would assume, and the general public. And so, as you can imagine, in a very political environment, harm could be defined in many different ways, and this could put some very onerous responsibility on companies, as well as create a method to create more censorship online. So, in my opinion, it's not the correct answer. What we should do is do research on what is actually harming kids the most online and start with that to then figure out what we need to pinpoint here.
And I think you bring up the very important point here, given the broad and subjective nature of harmful content. But what do you think these social media companies should be paying attention to right now when it comes to the safety of the younger population?
We need to do some extensive research on how recommendation algorithms in particular are affecting children. There is a high rate of depression in teens who are using platforms like Instagram, especially with younger females. We need to look into why that's actually happening, as well as cyberbullying and other different tactics that are prevalent online that are potentially harming kids. And so how do we go about solving those problems in a way that's not going to limit free enterprise, that's not going to limit competition, and that's going to also actually protect kids? Because I worry that this act and what's going on right now is more or less it's a little bit of political positioning in an election year, rather than actually focusing on what's important, which is how do we help kids? And the first step on doing that is doing research on actually how we can do that.